I'm often asked, what is psychological trauma? So I want to do a video to explain what exactly is psychological trauma and what type of events lead to psychological trauma. So my definition of psychological trauma is an event or series of events that may occur that causes you to experience significant emotional pain and may lead to a person rethinking the way that they feel about themselves, other people, and the rest of the world. And so that can come in a lot of different forms. Examples of events that may cause psychological trauma, the most common events that cause psychological trauma are natural disasters. And that can come in the form of hurricanes, volcanoes, flooding, earthquakes, tornadoes. And as you would recognize, they affect a lot of people at one time. There's also man-made disasters like dam failures and other major events that can happen. But in addition to that, we have things that a lot of people don't necessarily think about as psychologically traumatizing, like being the victim of a crime, experiencing someone rob or steal from you. That can be very violating and can be traumatizing. There's also bodily injuries, so things like physical harm and aggression, domestic violence, interpersonal violence, sexual assault in any manner. So sexual violence can be harassment, molestation, assault, any unwanted sexual contact or pressure can still fall under sexual trauma. Racism, race-based traumas are very common, and we do not acknowledge that those things are traumatic, but they can be. Kidnapping, gun violence, school violence, bullying, divorce, death and loss, grieving of the separation from someone close to you, even their relationship traumas like infidelity and violation of trust. So there's a wide range of things that can lead to trauma. Military trauma or community traumas. You don't have to necessarily have been in combat or in war situations directly threatened in order to experience trauma from those things. So I think the most important part is to recognize that the bar for trauma is not way up here. The bar for trauma actually is relatively low. It can even be painful to experience invalidation. Invalidation being when you're expressing your emotions or your feelings to someone and they're maybe telling you that you should feel differently or think differently about your experience. So there's many things that cause trauma and lead to trauma, but I wanted to make sure that I validated that those experiences are traumatic, can be traumatic. So if you're still struggling with them, then you may have experienced psychological trauma.